In this video, we are diving deep into the striking Soviet history of the Georgian capital of Tbilisi. We're tracking down a secret underground printing press run by a rumored ex-KGB agent, standing beneath colossal pillars that tell the story of Georgia, and navigating an unexpected medical emergency in a foreign hospital. Come along as we take you on a wild post-Soviet architectural venture through the concrete horizon of Tbilisi. Hi, I'm Beth.
And I'm Aaron. This is Kitson Postcards. When you look at Tbilisi through a lens, you are looking at a city caught between centuries. We spent 8 incredible nights completely immersing ourselves in the Georgian capital, and we're breaking our journey down into multiple distinct stories. We've already posted about our day trip to visit the ancient monasteries of Armenia, and later we'll also take you inside the city's enchanting but complicated Old Town, and share the amazing culinary experiences we had along the way. But to truly understand the pulse of modern Tbilisi, you have to look at the Soviet concrete giants from its past, woven into its skyline. Today, we are taking you on a journey through the city's striking, surreal, and deeply fascinating communist era.
Our Soviet deep dive started with a travel plot twist. The tour operator couldn't secure a van quite large enough to fit the entire group. But instead of leaving us stranded, the incredible team at Real Georgia Tours immediately arranged and paid for a Bolt taxi just for us to ride in comfort, trailing the main tour van like a VIP motorcade. Our first stop brought us to a nondescript brick building with a dark history, the Stalin Printing Press Museum. We all know that infamous Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin, but what you may not know is that he wasn't Russian, he was Georgian. And beneath this unsuspecting house lies a secret underground bunker where between 1903 and 1906, Bolsheviks and a young Joseph Stalin printed illegal anti-Tsarist propaganda.
The printing press was hidden 15 meters underground, reached only by climbing down a well and traversing a secret tunnel. Lookouts were stationed nearby, sounding a bell at the approach of Tsarist police so operators could immediately turn off the noisy machine. The press was discovered and destroyed in 1906 after a suspicious police officer dropped a burning piece of paper down the well, revealing the hidden passage. Then in 1937, Stalin had the site restored and turned into a state museum. Today, it offers a collection of communist mementos, propaganda, and some of the original newspapers printed here. The history itself is heavy, but the current caretaker, a man heavily rumored to be ex-KGB, made the experience unforgettable. He was incredibly intense, delivering an impassioned breakdown of what he called the 3 sides of Stalin to another tourist. The tension in the room was palatable, a living echo of a bygone era.
Viva comunisto! Caput capitalisto! Yes!
From there, we drove to the Chronicles of Georgia, a colossal, breathtaking monument often called the Stonehenge of Tbilisi. Perched high on a hill, it's one of the most awe-inspiring cinematic landmarks. This massive, technically unfinished monument was designed in 1985 by the famous sculptor Zurab Tsereteli to commemorate 3,000 years of Georgian statehood and 2,000 years of Christianity. The site consists of 16 towering bronze and stone pillars that reach over 100 feet into the sky, creating a breathtaking backdrop that feels like stepping straight into a fantasy world or epic film. The bottom sections of the pillars depict profound scenes from the life of Christ, while the upper portions are adorned with the larger-than-life figures of Georgia's historic kings, queens, and literary heroes. And like most Soviet monuments, walking between these colossal structures makes you feel incredibly small. And that is usually the point.
After taking in the massive bronze pillars, our day came to a grinding halt. I experienced a sudden, terrifying vision issue. Fearing a detached retina, I needed to find medical help right away. Our guide David was wonderful. He led us down to a waiting car and the driver rushed us to a nearby hospital. Now, navigating a foreign healthcare system out of pocket can be intimidating, but Georgia blew us away. After we walked into the hospital, we told the woman at the front desk the issue. She informed us of where to go, in English. We didn't wait long until I received a very thorough examination and several tests, all for about $30 US. Best of all, my retinas were completely fine. It was just a harmless protein clump in my eye fluid. Crisis averted.
Unfortunately, the tour company didn't have another group tour scheduled that we could easily jump onto. So we asked if we would be able to buy a shortened private tour to finish our itinerary the next day. But the team at Real Georgia Tours refused our money. In an amazing display of hospitality, they gifted us a private tour the very next morning so we wouldn't miss a thing.
Our new guide Georgie picked us up bright and early, and we set off for the never-finished Soviet Archaeology Museum. It's a spectacular, decaying sci-fi relic sitting on a hilltop. The relief mural and Brutalist lines are amazing. It even has a resident guard dog. And we didn't just look at it from the front entry. This was actually part of a repurposed water supply facility. So Georgie led us around the back, ducking under the barbed wire, until we were literally walking on the roof of the third water tower. The view from up there was spectacular. Before leaving, we stopped next door to take in the majestic St. Nino Monument. This stands as a powerful tribute to St. Nino of Cappadocia, a 4th century woman who was revered for introducing Christianity to the nation of Georgia.
Our next stop was the iconic Bank of Georgia headquarters. Originally built in 1975 as the Ministry of Highway Construction, it's famous for its interlocking Jenga-like concrete blocks growing out of the hillside. The main parking lot was locked down because maintenance workers were actively painting fresh parking spaces. But that didn't stop Georgie. He found a corner where we could stop and film this architectural marvel. It is an absolute masterpiece of late Soviet modernist and brutalist architecture.
Next, we headed to one of the most famous brutalist residential sites in the world, the Nutsubidze Skybridge. To understand why this exists, you have to look at Tbilisi's intense vertical geography. Built in the 70s on a steep hillside, these 3 massive apartment towers were designed by Soviet architects to be connected by a high-rise metal bridge on the upper floors. It serves as a literal public crosswalk in the sky, allowing residents to walk seamlessly across the gorge and access the upper streets without hiking up the mountain. To get up there, you have to use a legendary public elevator. It operates on a strict pay-as-you-go system. At the top, it offers some amazing views of both retro Soviet architecture and the changing modern Tbilisi skyline. Georgie then treated us to a classic, nostalgic Soviet-style ice cream. It was actually really good and very much needed on this hot summer day.
Continuing the theme of up-in-the-air transit, we drove to Tbilisi State University and stopped at the vintage gondola system that stretches across a massive gorge to the former university dorms. Built in 1983, it's a minimalist, heavy metal setup, just 2 lone cars passing each other once mid-air. It actually sat idle and fell into disrepair for several years following the collapse of the Soviet Union. But now, it does give some great views of the valley, as well as the nearby retro university buildings. And the old university dorms, now apartments, are pretty iconic themselves, even showing off an amazing mural.
We began wrapping up the day by walking past the Grand Sports Palace, built in 1961 as a multi-sport complex. It now holds the record as the largest basketball arena in the former USSR. We quickly viewed the athletic male statue that the locals call the Soviet David before descending deep underground. The Tbilisi subway platforms double as subterranean art galleries, featuring beautiful, massive Soviet-era relief murals tiled directly into the concrete walls. Created by a team of Georgian masters, the 2 panels are titled Work and Study and Sports and Art, to mirror the universities and stadiums nearby. Bonus Easter egg, if you look closely at the Sports and Art panel, the central figure is a stylized woman known as the Queen of Chess. This was a direct tribute to Nona Gaprindashvili, the legendary Georgian chess player who became the first female grandmaster in the world just a year before the station opened.
It was a fabulous end to our tour. But as we walked back to our car, the reality of the modern world pulled us right back to the present. Georgie noticed a Ukrainian flag displayed in front of the Holiday Inn. However, it was upside down. He immediately called the front desk so they could correct it. The Ukrainian flag is a common piece of the visual landscape here. These concrete walls that once celebrated the unified strength of the USSR are now covered in layers of fierce resistance. The city is painted with intense pro-Ukraine and deeply explicit anti-Russia graffiti. It's a raw visual reminder that while Tbilisi lives surrounded by its Soviet architectural past, its heart is looking firmly towards a different, independent future.
Tbilisi's architectural history isn't just preserved in museums, it's lived in, walked past, and fought over every single day. But seeing the city from the outside is only half the story. To truly experience these contrasting neighborhoods, you need the perfect base camp. In our next postcard from Georgia, we're moving out of the grand scales of the past and checking into two of the city's most intimate, design-forward boutique hotels hidden in the quiet corners of the capital. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our neighborhood guide, and we'll see you in the next postcard.